Hey guys, we're back with the notes for 5.5. We're going to be solving systems today, but we're going to be using substitution. So everything we've done up till now has been with graphing. We're going to go back to an algebraic method. If you would like to see other resources for how to do this problem, we have looked at it a little bit back in 1.5, okay? So what is substitution? Well, think about it on a sports team. If you're going to make a substitution in the middle of a game, that means one player comes out and the other player goes in, but they must play the same position, okay? In football, you're not going to put a running back into the quarterback's position if he gets hurt. That just doesn't make sense. They have to play the same role. Same idea when substituting. We're going to be replacing a variable, so take the x out, put the x's value in, or take the y out and put the y's value in. But I can only do that if I know what x or y is. So we're going to use substitution anytime you have an x equals equation or a y equals equation, okay? So your steps are here. I'm going to have you go ahead and copy everything you see, and then when you're ready, press play and we'll get started. Perfect. So I'm going to leave the steps up there as we slowly walk through problem 1. Okay, first step, we want to make sure that we know whether we have the x equals or the y equals. We're going to be looking for this right here. We want to make sure we know, do we have the x by itself or the y? I have a y equals. So I'm going to take what y equals and I'm going to plug it in where the y is. So the y comes out of the problem, and in its place right next to the 3, I'm going to put 6x minus 11, okay? Now, the rest of that problem brought down. I have a negative 2x, I still have a minus 3, I still have an equal 7. Just like the same thing in a game, you're not going to take out all the players. You take out the one person and substitute that one value back in for him, okay? All right, from here, we're going to solve. Now, solving means we're distributing, combining like terms, kicking numbers out of the party. All of this is back to unit 1, okay? So scroll up so we have space to work. First thing we're going to do is distribute. Negative 3 times 6x is a negative 18x. 3 and 11, they're both negative, so that makes a positive 33. We're going to bring down everybody else. Bring down the negative 7, bring down the negative 2x, okay? Our next step, we need to combine like terms. So we're combining negative 2x and then negative 18. That makes negative 20x's. And bringing the rest down. We're going to try and get x by itself. So that's the whole goal, is solve for x right now. We're going to get that x by itself by kicking the loner out of the party. We're subtracting 33 from both sides. We kick him out of the party, and that means that only the best friend is left. Negative 7 minus 33 is a negative 40. Remember, if I'm going too fast, pause it, copy it down, and then go back and listen to it one more time, okay? To get rid of the best friend, that negative 20, we need to divide it. That negative 20 was multiplying, so to cancel, I need to divide. 40 divided by 20, they're both negative, so when we divide it, we get a positive 2, okay? Now, right now I have x equals 2, which is great and kind of looks like an answer, but we're talking about systems. Systems, when you have one solution, it's going to be a point, an x comma y. Right now, I only have the x part. I only know the 2. But what I'm going to do is take that x part, and I'm going to go back and plug it in the x place of the box. So I'm going to take that x, walk it all the way back up here, and I'm going to plug it in that x place. Just like we did before, I'm going to copy down the equation. Y equals 6. I'm going to plug in that x number, which was a 2. And now I can solve for it. So 6 times 2 is a 12. 12 minus 11 makes a 1. So my y is 1. That's the second part of my solution. And now I have my final answer. Okay, 2 comma 1. Take a second, copy it down if you missed anything. We're going to go to problem 2. All right, problem number 2. Same idea. We're looking to find a letter by itself. I see a y equals, which means that's what I need to box. I'm not going to box the y. I'm going to box what y equals. because that negative 3x plus 5 is going to go in to y's position. Okay? So basically when you're doing this, you copy the whole question down except for the y. And where the y was, we're going to be making a big old space to put a new position in, or to put a new value in. That new value is my negative 3x plus 5. So the y comes out, y's value goes in. Okay. All right, now we're going to solve for my x because that's all I have left. The y's are gone. I'm going to distribute. Negative 4 and a negative 3 makes a positive 12x. Negative 4 times 5 makes a negative 20. I'm going to bring down everybody else. Remember, if I'm going too quick, you can pause it, copy it, and then go back and listen again. Next, we're going to combine our like terms. That gives me 17 x's when I combine them. And we are now trying to get x by itself. So to kick that 20 out of the party, I need to add it. That leaves me with 17x equals 17. Now, obviously, when we divide by 17, we're going to get our first answer. Our x is 1. Now, that only gets me the first number in my answer, but I still know I can solve for y. So I'm going to take that x number, and I'm going to go back and plug it in up here where the x was. Okay? So if I copy that down, it's going to say y equals negative 3. I'm going to plug in the 1 right there, plus 5. So this is still my x number. Negative 3 times 1 is a negative 3. Plus 5 gives me a 2. So my y value now is a 2. I have my x is 1, my y is 2. This is my full answer. Okay, take a second, copy it down if you need to. We're going to do number 3. Okay, number 3 is a little different this time. This time, I don't have a y by itself. I have this x by itself. So I'm not going to box the whole thing. I'm only going to box what x equals. And if that's what the x position is, he's going to go in where x was. Okay? So same thing again. Let me scroll up real quick. I'm going to put negative 3. I do not put the x in there. Instead of putting the x, I'm going to put in x's position. So 1 minus 3y. All of that replaced the x. Now, I still have to put in the rest of the equation because that's just the 3 and the x. So I'm still writing down negative 3y equals negative 15. Okay? All right, so now we're ready to start solving. We're going to distribute. That's a negative 3. Distribute again makes a positive 9y. We're going to bring down the rest. Minus 3y equals a negative 15. We need to combine our like terms, so 9y minus 3y is going to make a 6y. And we're still bringing down the rest of it. Okay, give me just a second. I'm going to shrink this up just a little bit. All right, we need to get that y by itself, which means we're kicking that 3 out of the party. Negative 15 plus 3 is going to give us a negative 12. And then when we divide by 6 on both sides, we get our first number. Our y number is a negative 2. Now, careful, that negative 2 has to go in the second position. It has to be the y value. Once I have that y value, I'm going to take it and plug it right back into where I started, right back into the box. So if I copy what I have, x equals 1 minus 3 times my negative 2. That's my y number. I plugged in the negative 2. And we can either type it in a calculator or do it through our head. Negative 3 times negative 2 is a positive 6. And 1 plus 6 makes 7. So my final answer is 7, negative 2. 7, negative 2. Okay? All right, we're actually not going to do number 4. So if you'll make sure you have number 3 written down, I'm going to jump to the next page. We're going to do 5 and 6, and then we'll be set. All right, number 5 and 6, these are going to be a little bit different looking. Process is exactly the same, but they're going to come out to be shortcuts, okay? All right, so let's start with, do I have x or y by itself? Well, we should see a y equals, which means I'm going to take this value and plug it in where the y is. So if I do that and I copy down everything else that I have a 3, take out the y, and I'm going to put in 3 plus x. I replaced the y. I'm still going to bring down the rest, minus 3x equals 4, and we're ready to move on through our solving, okay? We're going to distribute. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times x is 3x. We're bringing down the rest of it. We need to combine our like terms, so 3x minus 3x, well, crap, what happens? They end up canceling out, right? So what do I have left? Well, all I have left is a 9 equals 4. And if you remember back from Unit 1, there's no x's. We have two options. We either have no solution if the numbers are different, or we have infinite solutions if the numbers are the same. So right here, the numbers are not equal. So our answer doesn't have a solution. It has no solution. So it still has an answer. The answer is no solution, okay? Take a second, write that down, make sure you have the note that the x is canceled, and that will be your answer. All right, let's do number 6. So number 6, same idea. We have the x equals, so we're going to take the x equals, box his value, and put it in the x's position. I'm copying everything I have. I leave out the x, but I copy down everything else in the equation. Instead of x, I'm going to put in x's value, 2y plus 3. Then we can go on with solving. First thing is we distribute. 4 times 2y is 8y. 4 times 3 is 12. I'm going to bring down the rest of my problem. Make sure you're showing all your work to get all your points. Okay? I need to combine my like terms, except when I do 8y minus y, they cancel. So what do I have left? Well, it looks like I have a 12 equals a 12. And we know that if the numbers are the same, we don't have a solution. We have infinite solutions. So make sure you have all of the work, but the answer is infinite solutions. Okay? All right, your assignment is page 162, 163, 164. I believe you have 9 questions, okay? If you have any issues, come see me in tutorials. Otherwise, you should be set to get started.